Hello, everyone. Welcome to my We Talk show. Today is Friday, and I'm very glad to invite a guest to come into our show, Demian Lichtenstein. He's a director.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Hi, Demian. I know you're a director. Maybe you can give some introduction about your background and what you do.
Sure. I started as a child actor off Broadway in New York City, and then I went to the prestigious High School of Art and Design in New York City, where I studied motion picture and television and graduated the #1 film and television student from Carnegie Hall many, many years ago. Then I went to New York University and graduated a top film director there. And I went on and started my own film and television production company in New York, and directed approximately 250 plus music videos with major stars from Sting and Eric Clapton to Queen Latifah to Eric B. and Rakim, just all kinds of, I had the #1 rap, rock, reggae, and pop videos in the world at one point. I wrote, produced, and directed my first independent feature film in New York City with the Showtime Network, won a bunch of awards, and then moved to Hollywood, where I wrote, produced, and directed my first studio movie, and then a number of independent films, documentaries, other features, producer and director on video games, net television series, concerts, and the past year during COVID, when all major film production was shut down, I've produced and directed about 50 half-hour documentaries on CEOs and founders that are really online marketing movies for the founders and CEOs to tell the world about, their business, their product, or their service, but doing it from a compelling way based on the power of their own personal story. Separate from that, I have several large Hollywood movie projects in development right now. I'm also an internationally published author, and let's see, what else can I tell you? I kind of span all realms of story making. And currently, I am getting ready to launch the directorsway.com. That's directorsway.com. And Directors Way is basically an online educational portal for people to really be able to understand, especially in today's world where, the power of your own story is really what will drive your own business or your own personal adventure, and your capacity and your ability to understand that you are the writer, the producer, the star, and also the director of your own movie, which is your life. And so that's really what directorsway.com, and the first training called Unleash the Story Within, that launches next week. That I believe that's Wednesday of July, was that 14th? Wednesday the 14th. We are launching the first ever worldwide program for that. It's our beta launch, so it's a smaller, more intimate group, but there are still spaces available for people that may be interested in checking that out. And in that, what we really do is we dive into the power of your own personal story. And then not only your personal story, but the business you're in and the story about that business, and then your client or the person or people who you most want to serve and make a difference for in the world. And all that gets wrapped up into helping launch your offer into the world, who you are. And it doesn't matter what you want to do. So if you want to build a major online business, if you want to create a product, if you want to make a movie, if you want to write a book, if you want to, create a video blog, if you want to do a YouTube channel, it doesn't matter. What does matter is the power of your own personal story, because that's where people will ultimately, intimately relate to you.
So are you going to be the director of the directorsway.com for all the documentary you collect? Okay.
Yeah, for all people that come in, I am not the director of your documentaries. I am the lead trainer. I am the mentor and the guide as people go on this journey to discovering what their own power story is, their story, right? And how they unleash that story that's within them and then get it down so that then they can choose what they want to do with it. Um, and so many people, for example, a lot of the major founders and CEOs that I've been working with who are promoting their businesses or, doing large nonprofits and up to things that are supporting and helping humanity, a lot of it becomes about the story that they have to share and how they share it. So in that case, yes, I am directing all of their documentaries. Within the Director's Way, it is a course where you are training and developing yourself to be able to understand that you are the director of your own story. But most people have forgotten that. They just literally, they wonder why life is happening the way it's happening, or things aren't working the way they want them to work. And life isn't turning out, or why has this always happened to me? And one of the things that people don't realize is that in the epic movie that is your life, you have stepped out of the most powerful seat or chair in your life, which is the director's chair. It is the director that determines the powerful creative force and the movement of how any story, at least in the realm of motion picture, television, etc., how is that movie going to unfold? How is it going to be shot? And it's the director that makes those choices, along with how the script is written and how the project is being produced. But it is the director's way forward. And so a big part of what I'm committed to with anyone, no matter where they are in life, you can be a young aspiring model, you can be a seasoned, 60, 70-year-old CEO of a business, and you want to powerfully communicate with your audience. Well, what you need is a courageous, compelling character. Meaning, what do we all follow? May, why do people watch you? Like, why do they tune into your show? Not just because maybe someone like me may be sitting here in their beach house in Malibu chatting to them about their life, but because they find you to be compelling. And maybe you talk about courageous things, and you are a character. So people naturally follow courageous and compelling characters. And so when you understand that you are the courageous, compelling character within your own story, and you are the writer of that story, well, maybe it's time to start writing the script in the direction you want to see that story unfold. And even more importantly, perhaps it's an opportunity for you to take whoever's sitting in your director's chair out of it and put yourself in it. Right. And an easy way for someone to understand that concept is you can just ask yourself who you're pissed off at. Are you still blaming your mother? If you're still blaming your mother, then you are not sitting in the director's chair of your life. Your mother is sitting in the director's chair of your life, and she is directing your life, not you. So it's her story, not yours.
Right. So you provide the guidance to let the people to become their own director, to writing their own story, but in a professional way, right?
Correct.
Okay, to express in a movie language.
In movie language, which is a language that is understood by people all over the world. People truly relate to and understand the language of movies, even if, a movie, I often watch movies, for example, from China that are in Chinese, but I understand the movie because I can relate to the language of cinema, because I'm a filmmaker, that helps. But I can understand that there's the story that's unfolding and the characters within that story that are unfolding, really like or even love the choices that the director's making, or I can scratch my head and not understand why it's being done that way. It's about looking at your own life as an epic movie. And what movie do you want to make? Do you want to make a tragedy? Do you want to make a very sad movie? Do you want to make a comedy and a very happy movie? What movie do you want to make? And as you start to uncover what story you ultimately want to tell, and you choose to sit in the director's chair of that story, then on a transformative level, meaning on a deep, personal, human level, you get to make the choices that ultimately lead you to the ending of your blockbuster that you want to see, right? The great end of that incredible movie that you're making called your life.
So since you come from a director, in your point of view, how do you judge a good movie and bad movie? What is your criteria?
Well, there's a saying that it's just as hard to make a bad movie as it is to make a good one. So anyone that makes a movie, then we can bow to them, because it is a very difficult process to make a movie. But separate from that, I think what makes a good movie or a bad one is on some level subjective, right? Like, I don't really like horror movies, but I have dear friends that love them. That's all they want. They love horror movies. I like a good comedy, I like a good drama. I'm probably more drawn to action movies myself, right? I'd probably like to see a big Hollywood blockbuster action movie over something set in the 1600s in France about, people living in a castle and their relationships with each other. I mean, that could be interesting, but I'm drawn to bigger, more Hollywood kind of blockbuster action films if I have a choice, just on what I'm going to watch. That doesn't mean that it's a better film than another one, meaning I think ultimately it's, if the characters grab me, if I am interested in the characters and I want to see what happens next, I want to see what choices those characters make, I want to see where this story goes. If I'm compelled to watch, if I'm interested in that character and I'm excited by that story, whether it's shot well or the music's perfect or whatever, that's important, but not as important as that I am compelled by the characters within that story. So I think, to me, that's what makes a good movie, is when I'm genuinely pulled into the story of those characters.
Right. I think a good director is the soul of the movie, and also the good actor and actress are very important part of the movie too. Yeah, even though you had a good script, but you have bad acting, it's gonna ruin everything. Yeah.
Of course. There's a saying for directors that, getting the right cast is 90% of the job, right? Literally 90%. I mean, you assume when you're making a movie that the big things can be handled. Very sweet. The best things ever. They are the greatest stories I have ever been a part of.
They are. Nice. Okay. You enjoying your beach house there?
Yes, very much.
I think a good quiet environment is very good for you to think about something, to create, especially when you're trying to think about how to make a good movie, right?
Agreed. And even in filmmaking, there's a term that many people have heard before, and that term is quiet on the set. Why do we say quiet on the set? Because we need all the noise to come down, right? All of the noise has to go away. And as the noise goes away, then we have the ability to actually drop into the scene, for the characters to do their work, for all of the crew people to quietly and silently, from the cameras to the lights to the sound to the dollies, to everyone has to come into this moment of reverence, of silence. And in that moment of silence, we're able to truly access, that deep creative part of making a motion picture.
Right. I think, speaking of this COVID and pandemic things, let yourself sit in a very pure, quiet environment. Think about your creation. It's not a bad thing, And we've been so busy, get used to a busy life, like a city life. Think about how to make money, how to, cater to your daily busy life and the networking. But when you truly actually got enough time to sit in your house, just sit by yourself and think about it, look back what you did, and now you can really have your own time to work on the things that you really need and what's most important things in your life. Do you agree?
Well said. I agree. Yeah, COVID was it's been quite a time during COVID, and it made us think a lot about which life we wanted to live. And so, choosing to live our life, in Malibu, in a smaller beach house rather than our very big city house in the suburbs, this was, our choice. I have it's actually very hot today. I'm looking over at the ocean right now out of my office window with a nice ocean breeze coming in, though it is heated up dramatically. It's very
Yeah,
nice, but warm
that's
right now.
yeah. So yeah, we are a nonprofit organization registered in Texas. And the name is the Superstar Art Foundation. Of course, it's for the people that's the artist, to support each other, and also we invite, because I come from the financial world. I used to be an investment banker in Hong Kong for years, and I try to invite those investors and some financial people and the brand to involved to support artists, and myself already invest a couple of films, which including independent film, Shadow Days. It's screened in the Berlin Film Festival. And
Awesome.
yeah, I also participate in a couple other movies. Right now, I'm trying to prepare some movie production for some project. It's the women stories. It's called
Good.
Blue. So yeah, hopefully we can have chance to communicate better regards to the production side.
Well, this is one of my great expertise.
We trying to choose the top winners to be the brand ambassador, and also provide them with the job opportunities. And of course, we are going to provide a serious training in a professional way. Just like you said, you could tell your stories, we can just train them how to express themselves in the movie language, and to guide them to make a better film. And also, if we have any film projects, we can just provide the casting, opportunity for them. And that's the whole purpose to cater into our mission. You saw all the profiles of the candidates online in the webpage, and we did an interview for most of them. And you might just review their performance to see which one's better fit for your storytelling, candidates. And we will invite them to interact with you, so you can, um, tell them, what is your criteria and how you can help them. So that's way, we can support your business as well. And yeah, hopefully, we do need a professional coach to work with. And we also trying to set to work with some academies as well. So let's hope this is a good start.
Well, take a look at directorsway.com. There are a couple of short videos on there. One is like a little intro video on me, and then another one is an explanation of that particular course,
Mm,
where I'm coaching and guiding people. And this is a big part of my business is very high level coaching. We have very high level clients.
right.
Even in our Salesumentary, which is our documentary division for creating the movies for founders, like we just brought Tony Robbins on as a client, so he's the greatest, arguably coach in the world.
Mm,
And even there, they still need the power of, storytelling and movie making to ultimately scale their business as big as their business already is. So it's a big part of what we do is powerfully coaching people to their greatness, to reveal the depths of their own gifts. And as they reveal them, they unconsciously and directly give others permission to do the same. So I think that's a big part of what your brand ambassadorship is about, is how you truly and authentically can serve humanity through the power of what you have to offer in the world.
Right. So we do make some artwork together. Like last year, we did the No Racism, No Violence video among all the Miss Economic top winners. This year, we're gonna do the thing like supporting artists endorse economy. So this is our way of expressing the mission of the foundation and the Miss Economic World.
Great.
Yeah. So very nice to have you here, and let's hope we can work closely in the near future. And let's do the contribution to the humanity and the movie business.
I'm doing my best.